were so close, but just so far away, Jeff. These last couple weeks have been kind of heartbreakers for Carolina Panthers fans because you feel so good about how they played, but you know they're right there. And it's not to say like right there on the cusp of a season-saving win or anything, but just on the cusp of you get a couple. If you can finish some of these games off, you're feeling a little bit better.
Right.
You feel good because there's improvement.
You listen.
And this is what we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's like we wanted to see improvement. It wasn't necessarily the wins and the losses, even though there's no more victories in the league. But for a team that a month ago was the worst team in the league.
Right.
Was on the cusp of getting
now there's 3 or 4 other teams you could talk about when you talk about the worst teams in the league.
Exactly. They didn't even know where they were going with the guy they had in their center.
Right.
They thought Andy Dalton was the quarterback of the future. And there were some fans out there that thought the same thing.
Right. And, I remember, and I apologize. I apologize. Like I said, I got another one I can mess around with. I said at the beginning of the year, Bryce Young is not a quarterback in the NFL. I am, after 12 games, wrong. Actually, probably earlier than that. I mean, listen, I think, you look at the last 2 games, you're 3 points away. Yeah. A last-second field goal against the 2-time defending champions. Mm-hmm. And a couple of, just if you could have them back again against the Bucs. The fumble by, Chuba in overtime, and then, Eddie missing a couple kicks.
Yeah. And you also have 2 late-game possessions where your defense can keep their offense out of field goal range. You might be
right. I mean, because they gave him the ball back with 36 seconds left.
Yeah.
And and they let him drive downfield and kick a field goal. Now, with that being said, though, let's talk about Bryce Young. And we go back to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Down 8.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. What do? You drive him downfield. You had a pass interference on that one play, but you score.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, you're down.
Yep.
You get the ball.
Yep.
You drive downfield. You score.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know in the 12 games that I've watched the Panthers, I don't know that I've ever seen Bryce Young celebrate.
Yeah.
Or dance.
Oh, yeah. He did hit the little move, didn't he?
So, and smile and listen. You go back and I think I don't know exactly what it was. I had it here a second ago. But at the end of the day, it's I think he was like I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but he was like he threw for 298 yards.
Mm-hmm.
No turnovers.
Yep.
He actually outplayed Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, as Panther fans, as rough as it's been for the last year and a half or whatever, how can you not feel good about your team?
Yeah, I agree.
How can you not start being at Bank of America Stadium and backing this team?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm getting at?
You're feeling a little bit better. I do have to welcome you guys in to the Keep Prowling podcast. I'm your host, DJ Beal, and I got my guy, Jeff Taylor.
How you doing, man?
Sports director. And we like to get right into the conversation.
Absolutely, we jump right in.
It's always
forget
always
introducing the thing.
It's always fun to do, just to see right off the top of the head what we're thinking about, what you guys are thinking about out there too. And I feel for me, kind of like you just said, piggybacking on what you just said, a couple of games like we've had the last couple of weeks, especially here at home,
right?
It lets fans know, like, hey, this team can compete.
Yeah.
And this team, it's not a day and night process. It's not a process where, you're gonna build Rome in a day or build Charlotte in a day here.
Right.
Right. But you can see some things that make you feel good. I don't know if Bryce Young has played this well in his NFL career.
No.
And these are 2 losses we're talking about.
Yeah, no.
He's not putting up maybe the numbers that people want to see touchdown-wise, but in terms of being decisive, he's decisive with his legs. He had a rushing touchdown, too.
Right.
He's decisive with his legs. He's decisive with his arm. And that's something that we weren't seeing before.
He's seeing the field, too.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to go through the progressions. I've seen him be more comfortable in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him step into throws.
Yep.
And he's made, great throws. So, I think the last 2 weeks, even though they've been losses, I can't, say enough good things about him, and especially in those last minutes where you needed to come down and score.
Yep.
That's what he's done.
Yeah, and I think, going into it, especially this stretch that we've been on, there was a point in this season where we were like, I don't know if the Panthers are going to win a game left on their schedule because that's just how they were playing. They couldn't score. They couldn't stop anybody. And both sides of the ball have improved.
Right.
And, we talked about earlier in the season, is Dave Canellis ready for this job? We talked about earlier in the season, is Dave Canellis going to have to grow up on the job?
Right.
And we've seen it before our very eyes that he's capable.
Yeah.
Right? He's capable. It may not be the season that he wanted. It may not be the first season that he wanted. But this is what patience gets you.
Absolutely.
And we could look back, especially next season and even the season after this, with him as head coach and feel really good about the decisions that were made in the front office.
Right.
A front office that we struggle to trust even just this offseason too.
And I think at the end of the day, listen, every NFL team to me is built from, the guy under center. Mm-hmm. And if those guys are playing well and not making mistakes, even though you're losing ball games, there's some kind of, okay, we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
We have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. We know this kid, and I think the conversation now is, at the end of the day, is Bryce Young playing better ball than C.J. Stroud right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could probably say that. You could probably, beg that question.
It's as I just looked at it, the really sad part about it is, flip the switch or flip the script. You win the last two games.
Yeah,
you'd be 5-7,
and
your division leader is 6-6.
Yeah,
You'd be a game out of.
And I think honestly, you'd probably be ahead of the Bucs because the Bucs wouldn't be 6-6 right now.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
and you'd have the top. Well, yeah, you'd have the tiebreaker over right now.
So
because you had to win.
I don't, and can you win these last ones and get in at 8 and 9, and win your division?
They don't have the division.
And in fact, we even talk about that.
Yeah.
I think if you're a Panthers fan, it's almost like, okay, this is good. I'm going to go Christmas analogy here. It's almost like an advent calendar that you don't know what you're getting. Like you open up day 1, you open up day 2, you open up day 3, and every day you get a little more excited because you get closer and closer to Christmas. Yeah. To me, every Sunday's becoming like an advent calendar now. Because you build a little bit more.
Yeah.
You wish you could have gotten the win against the Bucs. Mm-hmm. But like you said, you're moving forward. You're building a culture. You're starting to kind of get a team identity. The D's got to do some work on a couple of things. Mm-hmm. But overall, right now the sky's the limit. And at the beginning of the year, the sky was falling.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm getting at? So,
and it gives you, because literally, we're talking not even a month ago, there was a lot of conversation about potentially trading Bryce Young.
Yeah, around the trade deadline, yep.
If you should do it, if now's the time to pull the trigger, if he had trade value and stuff like that. And for him to get knocked down in the way that he did.
Right.
We're talking 2 games into the season.
Yeah.
I think we forget. We're talking 2 games into the season, he was sat down.
Yep.
Saying you're not the best option to win.
Right.
Literally. I'm not saying, that's not me saying this just to be facetious. That's me saying this. That was literally what we said.
Yep.
Andy Dalton gives us the best chance to win.
Yep.
And at least from what we've saw in the last couple of weeks, obviously, a lot of people were wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Now, let's be honest. At the time,
right,
maybe that was true, because I think everything tends to happen for a reason, and I think Bryce Young needed to sit down and needed to take a step back and needed to take a break for a minute and not have the pressure of being the guy on him for a little bit of time.
And and when you step back and look at the history of the NFL and the history of quarterbacks, there are 99% of them. Their first couple years ain't good.
Yeah.
You can take the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Bradys and the Andrew Lucks, and they weren't setting the world on fire.
Yeah. And even if they weren't, even if they were putting up numbers, they weren't necessarily winning.
Right.
Or their interception totals were outdoing their touchdown totals.
And it's a really weird deal, because I go back and I look at somebody like Will Levis now, who had to take a seat for a couple weeks because he had a quote unquote shoulder injury, call it whatever you want. But since he's come back, he has not turned the ball over.
Yeah.
And people were doing memes and stuff of him the first 3 or 4 weeks, because it was just bonehead mistakes. Mm-hmm. But since he's come back, the Titans haven't won. Maybe they've won 1 or 2, but he has not been the worst part of that team.
Yeah.
He's actually kind of, balled out a little bit. So, in these 5 or 6 week spans, I'd love to see the Bryce Youngs, the Will Levis, the Anthony Richardson, see what they're like and see what they're kind of.
Because I feel like even Anthony Richardson plays a little bit.
He's played a little, since they've all sat down for.
And I think
even 2 or 3 weeks just to sit down and take it in.
Yeah, and I think maybe I wonder if you guys think this out there as well, but maybe the Carolina Panthers set a standard of what a lot of teams wouldn't dare do, which is sit down your guy for a minute and just let him, not in a bad way, because I didn't love how Canellis handled it as a coach. I think he still could have shown confidence in his guy,
right?
But at the same time, maybe that's what you need to do.
Don't hold his hand.
Yeah,
and then another thing too is, and it hit me too as I was thinking about it too. When you are benched or injury, call it whatever you want. When you are no longer the starter, okay. Well, practices are one thing.
Yeah.
But as a young quarterback, to sit on the sidelines on a Sunday afternoon, be in the huddle when Andy Dalton is talking to Dave Canales or something, those conversations are taking place, and they're looking at they're looking at the photos or the videos of the previous plays. Mm-hmm. I think you could grow more in that than being running the scout team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at? Mm-hmm. So I think that time sitting on the bench on a Sunday afternoon, taking it all in.
Yeah.
That's to me, kudos for Bryce Young, because you can fold up the tent he could have folded up the tent and gone home.
Yeah.
He could just be, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to learn. And I'm going to I'm going to beat this. And kudos to him, because right now, I think he's playing just as well as any quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah, he's playing well, and I think, it's one of those situations where it's like, at any other level, if your guy wasn't playing well,
right,
it didn't matter if he was your guy. Now,
right.
I get there's a lot of money involved in the NFL level, but even in college, let's be honest, let's not forget a couple of years ago when Alabama was literally on their road to a national championship, the guy who's played for them all season long wasn't playing well.
Right.
They benched him.
Yep.
And Tua came in.
Yep.
And, the rest was history, right?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of money involved in the NFL and in the guys that you put out there.
Right.
But I think it is okay to sit a guy down for a little bit.
Absolutely.
To coach him up some, because that's what coaches are supposed to do. They still have, just because we're talking about professionals here does not mean that they don't still need coaching and mentorship.
Right.
So
agreed.
Yeah. So, I think, to see what the Panthers have done, curious to hear you guys' thoughts out there too. To see the Panthers' improvement, I think, has been a breath of fresh air for
Absolutely.
this team.
I agree.
And I think it leaves a lot of Charlotte fans feeling good, especially considering how the Hornets are playing right now. They're playing well. I know they lost last night.
Yeah, but they've been 3 point, 4 point. Yeah, and you're talking about playing with nobody. I looked at the roster last night of who scored. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah, they're I think Charlotte has a lot of young and developing teams that are maybe finally turning some corners.
Listen,
here.
the Carolina Ascent, the women's soccer team, they didn't lose a game.
Yeah,
and now they're on this little break till the spring.
Right,
they lost a game. So FC, in the play, maybe we're maybe we're turning the corner a little bit.
It's pretty crazy, but the Panthers do have a tough matchup this week against Philadelphia.
They do. I agree.
Philadelphia, I think, is a completely different team than we thought they were probably at the same time we were wondering about the Panthers.
Right.
They've turned – you talking about turning a corner.
Yeah.
They turned a sharp U-turn. They were 0-2 at the start of the season. They were kind of struggling. They were floundering a little bit. But, they got a win over the Ravens last week, and they've beaten Washington. They've beaten some of the upper echelon teams in the league. And they've shown, we got some Super Bowl aspirations, in our back pocket too.
It's interesting too because Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young were in the same quarterback room in Alabama.
Oh wow, that is crazy,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It was Bryce, Tua, And
Probably, that's
and
good.
I think.
Yeah, because it's probably Bryce's freshman year.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. But I think there's a picture of all three of them, which is kind of
good.
crazy.
Yeah, that is good.
You know, listen. 6 weeks ago, I would say, you know, this is a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anymore. Like, I mean, we're at least having conversations going, could they go into Philly and pull the upset?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could I think this now be more of like a 23-17 ball game? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think, kind of like you said,
I don't think it's going to be a 36-3 game.
Yeah. I think realistically they could, win this game. I mean, the Eagles didn't dominate last week either.
No.
Right? I mean, the Eagles look good,
right.
but the Eagles aren't
But
dominating anybody.
Absolutely not.
Like, they just, they're
The only
winning.
team right now that seems to be dominating people seems to be Detroit. Yeah. But, I mean, and you go into Philly and, I mean, you play your game. Here's and I know Chuba is just licking his chops after the fumble in overtime.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned, Jonathan, I mean, like, the offense, the Panthers are coming together at the right time.
Yeah.
And they have momentum. Even though they've got the 2 losses, listen, they have momentum. I mean, I'd love to hear the fans out there too, your listeners. Mm-hmm. Do you think we have momentum? Because I think we do. And I think this could be that. And even, listen, you can go back and even the games last year. I'd love to know in the last 3 years how many Panthers games have been decided in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is a boatload.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a boatload. So you take, I mean, I think it's going to be that type of game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think right now anybody in the NFL wants to see the Panthers on their schedule.
Yeah.
Much like in college football, I don't think anybody wants to see South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
So,
and I think too, like, it's an interesting matchup because you got this offense that's kind of surging a little bit, and they're kind of finding themselves a little bit in Carolina. But you got a defense that's really talented and flying all over the place in Philadelphia.
The secondary is going to concern me a little bit against that offense.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, I mean, there are a few things that worry me a little bit about that, but go play ball.
Yeah, and it depends too if Devonta Smith can get back this week because I know he was game time and ended up not playing last week. So, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be probably a good test for the Panthers in their defense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How much have you really improved? Because of course we know Kansas City isn't the offense they've been over the past couple of years.
Yeah, they're not.
Right. Philadelphia has that potential, but are they really the offense that we're used to seeing them? Be?
I don't know that they have found themselves.
Yeah.
1 week they're throwing it, next week they're running. I don't know that they've, of course you need to shut down.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find a way to shut down Saquon, and that's gonna be the toughest part because of injuries on the inside too. And I don't know when the last time the Panthers have played a running back of that caliber this season, if they have at all.
Yeah, I don't think they have, no.
So I think that's gonna be. I think some of the toughest matchups, is gonna be Saquon against this defense.
Right.
And like you said, they are very talented on the outside too. So it's going to stretch this defense out a little bit to see, like, it's going to put some pressure on them. And
I mean, I think the Eagles win, but I think it's going to be, like I said, it wouldn't shock me to see it be a one-score game.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. I could see Chili Field Goal getting the win again this week.
Yeah, I mean,
the way they've been playing, it feels like the Panthers have found, the Eagles might not have an identity, but it feels like the Panthers have kind of found theirs a little bit. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it'll be definitely
we'll see.
It'll be good.
Yeah,
it'll be good. But let's pick the games. And
okay.
Here, I guess. So Thursday Night Football, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions.
Wow,
it's a good one, huh? A good one on Thursday night.
Yeah, I know. Tell me, when was the last time that happened? I think when you take a look at it and you peel away the layers, Detroit may be the best team in the NFL. But I also think Green Bay is making a statement.
Yeah.
Don't forget about us.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit has blown people out. Even they have Jared Goff throws 5 interceptions in a game and they still win. I'm gonna go with Packers.
Okay.
I think they go, hey, don't forget about us.
Yeah.
And I think some people have they're there, but I think this is their statement game to go, you better put us in that conversation.
Yeah, I feel like I know Detroit only has one loss.
Yep,
season,
I think that's right, yes.
So I don't know. The Packers might be, because it's crazy how late in the season it is already.
Right.
Like,
At least this one's indoors.
yeah. So I think because of that, was that the lone. Who did Detroit lose to? Do you remember? I don't remember. I can't. For the life of me, I can't remember. I was curious if it was Green Bay in Green Bay, but I can't remember myself. But I think Green Bay's going to win. I think it's going to be a tough matchup, but I think Green Bay's going to win.
Oh, let's.
Because I feel like Green Bay, like you said, they have kind of something to prove.
Right.
And, they're playing for a wild card spot, whereas I think Detroit, at this point, it seems like they're running away with the number one seed more than anything.
Well, yeah, and I think they want to make sure they keep that in check. Of course, I can't get my internet to work.
That's how it is down here.
But yeah, I think Green Bay makes a statement. I think you're kind of like, hey, don't forget about us.
Yeah.
And we are good to go. So that would be my thought process.
All right, let's jump into the next one. So we got the New York.
Hang on real quick.
Okay. Did it load up for you?
Yeah, I got. They lost to the Buccaneers.
Wow.
In week 2.
That's crazy. So
they have not lost a game since week 2.
Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Anyway,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, who would have thunk it would have been the Bucs?
Right. No.
So the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. You gotta think about this one.
Say that again.
The New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins, because I know you're a big Jets guy.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Jets guy.
I went in your office. I know you got the belt up there with Aaron Rodgers. So
the discount double check. Yeah, Miami wins.
Yeah, I think so too. I think kind of like we talked about before. I think just New York is just done.
They're done. And Aaron, he's already said I don't know that I want to play for the Jets. Whatever, bench him. Goodbye.
It's weird because I feel like I'm getting mixed reactions because I think was it the owner? I think it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the GM who said,
I think
we
it was
want him to
GM.
be our guy.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know which one it is. So I guess
he needs to go hang out in his cave and do some more thinking. Whatever. Bye, Aaron Rodgers.
I get why he came back.
And so help me, he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans next year. I would lose. Okay, I'm just letting all our listeners out there. Yeah, that may be the end of my Oilers Titans fandom if that were to happen. I may have to just
You're gonna be just a Panthers fan.
Just a Panthers fan. Yeah.
You gonna put it on hold?
Yeah.
Atlanta and Minnesota.
Wow.
Atlanta trying to keep up that
top
of the division.
I think Atlanta wins.
Okay.
I think Atlanta just needs I think they need something, and I think that this is the type of thing. I think it's just that.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's gonna win. I think Atlanta needs this win.
Right.
I just think they'll find a way to lose.
Well, I guess if for us, yeah. For Panthers fans, you want them to lose.
Right.
It'd be cool.
Well, we want everybody to be about what
yeah.
the Panthers are.
Yeah. No, I know.
We'll see. I'm gonna go Minnesota on that one. New Orleans at the New York Giants.
New Orleans.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't even know what the Giants are.
I don't even know. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, I don't know. But the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't think Cleveland's gonna get them again?
Nope.
I think Cleveland's gonna hit the.
Nope.
They're gonna hit the sweep.
Jameis be eating his crab legs and
I think
this game's over by halftime.
You think so?
Yeah. Listen. The Pittsburgh Steelers are quietly.
They're good, but last week was the first offensive performance they've had worth talking about.
I know,
and they're not putting that up on Cleveland.
I don't know. In Pittsburgh, I think Steelers win.
I think Cleveland's going to get a rare Pittsburgh win.
Wow, that'd be that. All right,
I think it's going to happen. That's not me wanting the Ravens to win the AFC North. That is just me speaking from a pure logic.
Speaking it into existence.
The Vegas Raiders at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Bucs.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't even. Listen, the Raiders aren't bad. Aiden O'Connell, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Quarterback.
I wonder, I want them to be patient with Antonio Pierce, but I wonder if they're going to be.
They need to be.
Yeah.
You got to. That's your problem with most NFL teams.
Yeah.
When it comes to something like that, be patient.
I mean, you even got the guy. You've been playing with Gardner Minshew all year.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa. I think Vegas can compete in this game.
Right.
Because Tampa's just one of those teams where they seem to have a competitive game every single week. They're not blowing anybody out, but I do think that Tampa gets the win in a tough one. Jacksonville at Tennessee.
Get your popcorn for that one, man. That's for the number one, probably for the number one pick.
I got a question about Jacksonville for you too.
This should be a game that Tennessee should win and should win handily. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, but the Tennessee Titans don't win anything handily, so I think Tennessee gets the win because I think Jacksonville is horrible.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty bad. What did you think of the hit on Trevor Lawrence? I've heard. I know Mark Schlereth said, how are you gonna ask him to pull up? But obviously he was sliding.
I don't think it deserved a 3-game suspension.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the aftermath of the hit.
That may be, well, listen, everybody wanted to fight last weekend, whether it was pros or college.
Don't plant that flag.
Don't plant that flag. And I officiated football for 10 years. And when you're officiating, everything happens
in real time.
In real time. So when he's sliding, you're launching. I think there's when you launch yourself into a guy who's sliding. I want to say, and it's the impact in which you hit him,
mm-hmm.
and what I mean by that is I think there seemed to be more of a launching of the shoulder and the elbow. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
It seemed a little more intentional.
Yeah. And the way he was concussed.
Yeah, he got crushed.
Yeah.
But when they slide, and you start your long, it's just I don't think anything deserves a 3-game suspension like
mm-hmm.
that. I think it was just a hit. I've seen it done hundreds of times. It's a tough thing to call when it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But
I mean, my initial thoughts on it was I was like, it's a dirty hit, but.
I agree. I agree it was dirty because I think it's the way it looked when it happened.
That's what I was saying. I wonder if it's dirty if he's not concussed. If he gets right up, or am I saying like, okay.
Or if you're launching yourself and you know the guy's sliding, kind of like hold your arms open or don't like. Yeah. He came in. So but the bad part about it too is, and let's just be real. When it comes to quarterbacks, the NFL has got to change some things because I've seen some things over the last few weeks where, you graze the side of Patrick Mahomes' head with your finger, you're going to get roughing the passer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was a Panthers play last week. I can't remember where they sacked the quarterback. I don't know if it was that game or another game where they sacked a quarterback, and there's no way it was roughing the passer, but they called it. And I'm like, here's a 350-pound guy.
Yeah, it was the Panthers game. I remember.
Do you know which one I'm talking about? I'm thinking, and I can't remember I can't remember what happened, but I think it was because I was watching the Panthers game. How is that roughing the quarterback?
Yeah.
And so, and back to the Tampa Bay, the Panthers game. Adam Thielen caught that ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
But that, my friend, was a touchdown. And if you're a multi-billion-dollar company, and you can't put the same amount of cameras in a stadium for all the games, you got issues. Because there is no way on this green earth. He bobbled it.
That was a touchdown on a flip phone.
Right. Yeah.
There's no that was obviously a touchdown. He had control.
He went to
when
the
they
ground.
said it
afterwards, they said he took his right hand off the ball. I'm like, okay, have you ever seen a one-handed catch?
Right. My other question
is... he had his knee and elbow down.
Yeah, that's what... And that's what I don't really understand.
I didn't mean to shift this, but
because we need to talk about it, because I forgot all about it. My other question is, there's some inconsistencies in the rules, because sometimes you have to survive the ground. Sometimes as long as you're in, surviving the ground doesn't matter. Like, why is it?
I know.
Why is it on the sideline you have to survive the ground?
Well, it depends on who's playing.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. But for a touchdown, you don't have to survive.
I am telling you right now, and I will
But
tell
he
everybody watching right now, had that been Travis Kelce, it'd have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
If it was Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce, that's a touchdown. Because the problem, here's what I don't like. Adam Thielen caught the ball, possessed the ball, inbounds when he was down.
Yeah.
Knee down, elbow hit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah.
If you hit inbounds, you've got possession of the ball, you roll over twice maybe. Let's say you do 2 rolls and the ball comes out. No.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What
Because
if
even
if he'd have gotten, he made that catch or whatever, started coming up knowing he had a touchdown and he dropped, to celebrate. It's mind-numbing that you, and I've made the argument all the time, it's like with the officials, you are either, they need to make these guys full-time.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you have all the cameras because you can't tell me that there's no way that New York or somebody couldn't have buzzed in and said, guys.
How is it that the refs can't see it and New York can't see it?
Right. Because they didn't want to.
But then you can come back on Monday when it doesn't matter and say, well it was wrong. Sorry,
right.
y'all.
I know. So.
Because I agree. I watched the play and I'm like.
I've watched it 100 times
down,
and I'm like.
knee down,
and
elbow
then
down, control
and
the
the
ball.
argument was his right hand came off. Like, what? Like, it just makes, or like the deal of, the toe tap or whatever. Like, I've seen Tyler Lockett he's the best at the business if you ask me about getting 2 feet in, where he's toe tapped and dragged a foot or whatever. But, I've seen other ones where the toe tap, but his heel comes down out of bounds.
Yeah.
And they, that was a couple weeks ago. I don't know who that was again, but that wasn't a touchdown. I'm like,
right.
How's that not a touchdown? Figure out your rules.
Yeah.
But this idea,
obviously, if you drag the toe, you're not going to put
finishing the catch by rule. When you say finishing a catch, by rule in the NFL is possession and 2 feet in bounds.
Yeah.
Nowhere does it say.
And 2 pinky toes count.
Finishing the catch. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere does it say that.
Yeah.
I mean, if a guy does a toe tap and then all of a sudden he takes a step out of bounds and drops the ball because he knows it's a TD, is that not completing the catch?
Right.
You know what I'm getting at? So anyway.
Yeah, I agree. So back to Jacksonville, Tennessee. For me, I got a feeling that Trevor Lawrence isn't playing this week, so I'm going to say Tennessee.
I don't even know who their backup is.
Mac Jones.
Oh, well, okay. Let me then back up. That would be, never mind. Tennessee's just, they need to get their stuff together, but I don't think Jacksonville is any good.
Okay. Yeah. Seattle at Arizona.
God, that's always a game. That's always like a 3-point field goal. That's a 9-6 game all the time. I think if Seattle wants to make a statement, they're leading their division right now. If they want to make a statement, I think they need to go into Arizona and win.
That's crazy. Seattle's leading the division.
Huh?
That's crazy. Seattle's leading the division.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
7-5.
I love to see. You know how they do
they're all within
the
a
tracker of who's leading. I would love to see.
They're all within a game of each other.
Yeah.
So I think Arizona. I think Kyler Murray balls out. I think Arizona gets the win.
Okay. I agree. I think Arizona gets the win. I think they are on their way to even if they back into it to a division title.
Yeah.
Buffalo at the LA Rams. Rams get the upset. I need a Buffalo upset to at least make me feel better about my thoughts on Buffalo.
Buffalo's playing well. I mean, Josh Allen is quietly just having, pretty daggone good year. I'll go with the Rams too. I think the Rams pull the upset. Okay. I think this is the type. This is kind of a catch game, and I think the Rams can pull the upset. Yes.
Okay. Chicago at San Francisco.
Chicago.
Okay. I was going to say the same thing because I feel like.
And let me just go ahead. I want to say something because you know what's probably coming, huh?
I feel like San Francisco's kind of done.
I agree, and listen to me. I've said it from day one. CMC will not go down in history as one of the best running backs in the NFL. CMC will not go down as a player who will be remembered in the NFL. If it is, it's because he can't finish a year. I mean, when you've played, I don't know how many years he's played now. 6? I don't know.
Do you think he'll make the Hall of Fame?
Huh?
You think he'll make the Hall of Fame?
Not even close.
You don't think so?
Nope. Won't even be on the. I don't think he'll sniff it.
I think he'll make. I don't know if he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Nope.
But I think he'll make. I think he'll make the Hall of Fame even despite the injuries.
Nope.
I think he will.
I don't think he even sniffs it.
Really? I don't think
But here, listen, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
In his career, he has maybe played 1 year, 1 season full,
right.
from beginning to end.
Right.
Maybe one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't have enough. There's not enough on the plate to do it.
I think they'll take his numbers because he had 1 or 2 MVP seasons. I think they'll take his numbers comparatively to what he probably could have gotten, and I think that's what'll get him in. Because I think his impact, will be bigger.
I think than
the games he's played.
Yeah,
because of the type of running back he is.
I just don't.
He's the new NFL's running back. He's the new NFL's prototype. Now is he the health version of that?
Well, no. I say he is,
mm-hmm.
but look who the top 2 running backs are.
Yeah.
When you talk about Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, they're not CMC.
Right.
They're give me the ball 30 times. I'm gonna pound it out and I'm gonna make you pay.
That's true.
And my leg hurts. I'm gonna. And okay, you mean get everybody really fired up?
Go ahead.
2 Panthers who will never see the Hall of Fame. Okay. CMC and Cam Newton.
You don't think Cam's gonna see the
Nope.
Hall of Fame? I think
he might be he'll be on the ballot 4 or 5 times before he gets in.
I think Cam
4 or 5
at worst
times.
will be on the fringes. He'll be
in the conversation.
Because
he'll be in the conversation.
Once again, we're talking about legacy, we're talking about impact, right? He's arguably the best Panthers quarterback.
And Cam, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
So I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, I'm just in the realm of now. Listen, Cam was an MVP.
That's the thing. Impact wise, I think he's got it. But I think at the same time, I don't know if his numbers are going to suggest.
Because when people talk about
the MVP,
when people talk about the Hall of Fame, when people talk about he changed the game for quarterbacks. He kind of, I've heard that conversation before, how he, kind of broke the mold even more. Mm-hmm. But I still go back to Dante Culpepper, and Michael Vick.
But the hard part is,
will Michael Vick ever see the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, right.
Will he ever see the Hall of Fame?
But I think the other thing is Dante Culpepper in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Speaking of, so I think even
Doug Williams is.
Yeah. Okay. I think the other thing about it too is Cam might have changed the game, but Josh Allen's going to revolutionize it. Lamar Jackson's going to revolutionize it because those 2 are probably more than likely Hall of Famers. I think Lamar's definitely.
I would absolutely say
Josh
yes.
Allen
yes.
is. If he keeps playing how he's playing, is on his way.
I mean, Dan Marino never won a championship.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we got on that tangent. But to me, I heard enough about CMC to go, listen, guys, explain to me how. If he became a free agent next year, and I'm the GM of a team, I don't touch him. I can't trust him. I'm not going to pay you hundreds of $millions and you can't finish a year.
Yeah, I get it.
And if it's the same thing, or it's the PCL or the ACL or whatever your things are, what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at?
But do you think
is it more of an underlying medical issue?
Is it him, or do we think it's strength and conditioning? Could it be the strength and conditioning coaches around him? Because maybe his body isn't built for the amount of punishment he takes.
If so, he's had 2 of the worst strength and conditioning coaches. And I mean, it could be the hits who knows? I just when people used to tell me he was a better running back than Derrick Henry, I'd be like, nope. And so there's a little bit of scarring there, but anyway.
See, because the reason I thought about that was I was thinking about J.K. Dobbins, right? And I know the Ravens have had one of the worst strength and conditioning coaches probably over the past 4 or 5 years.
Right.
That they just got rid of last year. But I was curious, but I know J.K. Dobbins just got hurt, right? So I'm like, maybe it's just it's just him.
If I'm a team down the road, there's one person I'd hire to be my strength and conditioning coach. And that'd be Derrick Henry.
Right.
I mean, come on.
But I think, too, it go, and I know this is off topic, but who cares at this point?
We have fun.
It's just some of it's build, right?
Oh, no, I get it. I mean, when you're 6'6", 250.
It's just it's going to be hard to hurt that type of guy.
Right.
You know, like he's built to run the ball 30 times.
Yep.
Whereas, you know.
No, I agree. So is Saquon Barkley. I mean.
Yeah, the newer running backs aren't built that way because they're built to be, you know,
right.
they're in this passing.
I think of Tony Pollard. I think of, the younger, smaller guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the other thing, too. And, you know, talking about the longevity of it, too, with Derrick Henry and what he's done. You know, like to be 30 where you're supposed to be
done.
You know, time to sit on out
done.
somewhere. You know, he's number
Second.
2 in rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Could be number 1 depending on how the season plays out. You know,
who has the next 200-yard game, him or Saquon?
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, we got away.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good discussion to have.
No, yeah.
I think it's it's especially for Panthers fans out there. Curious to hear you guys' thoughts on what we just talked about. Is Cam a Hall of Famer? Is CMC a Hall of Famer? I mean, it's it's a worthy discussion.
But see, and I think what's so cool right now too, and we'll end it with this. But see, like, I'd rather have Chuba in my backfield than CMC. Because Chuba's the type of guy. Hold on, stay with me. You can get 25, 30 carries out of Chuba and wear an offense down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're not going to get that.
Okay.
But here's a question.
I don't know if I'd say that one.
Chuba's going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to run the ball. And he's going to run the ball. Those safeties need to come on up. And, you pull the two safeties, into the box a little bit more because they're concerned about Chuba.
Yeah.
In that third or fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. CMC, you're not getting a true running game. In my opinion, you're not getting a true running game. I don't even consider CMC a running back.
Okay.
He's an athlete. He's an all-purpose. In other words, what I'm saying is you're not going to get him 20 or 30 times a game.
Okay.
You might get him 15 times and then 10 times through the air.
Yeah.
In the slot. Do you know what I'm trying to get at? So if I'm building a team that's going to run the football, be successful in,
Okay. But I
like,
think my
I'd rather have Derrick Henry than CMC.
I think my counter argument would be,
is Derrick Henry better than CMC?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think my counter argument would be touches are touches. So,
but also
CMC running the ball. So CMC with 1,500 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving, and still 20 touchdowns.
But
it's 20 touchdowns.
But you're not doing me any good if you can't finish a year.
That's true. I'll give you that.
You know what I'm saying?
I will give
to
you
me,
that.
at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I'll give you as many touches as you want, but if you're playing 4 games a year out of a 17-game, 18-game, no.
And I think it's the total touchdowns versus passing touchdowns thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
A touchdown's still 6
points. I know.
Right? But you're still a quarterback if you can run the ball.
Right.
So that's for me.
I got you. Right? I got you. No, I got you.
I mean, because even looking at Josh Allen runs the ball more than anybody.
Right.
And, he gets the job done. That's why they're one of the top teams in the league, because of kind of that innate ability. So I like it, though. That's a good decision. That's a good one.
And then, you think about, and we got to move on, I guess. But, I keep thinking about Lamar, too.
Yeah.
Lamar's I think 4th in rushing.
4th in rushing and 2 in passing.
Right, okay.
He might be 1st in passing. I think he's 2 because he's behind Joe Burrow by a little bit.
Now, granted, he can slide.
Yeah.
He doesn't a lot of times, though.
Yeah.
But he's smaller than CMC.
Yeah.
But,
that's true.
He's on the field playing.
Yeah.
Guess where CMC is?
Yeah. And, I mean, I get he gets those quarterback protections, I guess.
Right. No, I know.
But, also, I mean, CMC's going to take more hits than Lamar because he is a running back, whereas Lamar's going to get out of bounds. Lamar's going to get down.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, right. For the most part. Sometimes he's going to lower his shoulder and I'm going to be like, what are you doing? But, so.
We did the Bears. We did the Bears.
I said Chicago.
Yeah, I said Chicago.
All right. Sunday Night Football, the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers are winning this game.
The Chargers are going to win. Look at me.
They're going to do it. In KC.
Chargers win the game. I am so tired of they are the worst team with a winning record right now. Nobody's worse than Kansas City.
But nobody's better at falling into every win they can fall into.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's. I mean, how much? Do you
Except Pittsburgh.
You just the Raiders had them.
Yeah.
You're talking about a botched snap.
Yeah.
The Panthers had them.
Yep.
Who had them on the field goal, the blocked field goal? Was that? I don't even know who that was.
Ravens had them by a toe.
Right. I mean, it's whatever.
Size 9 shoe would have got him. Anyway, yeah, the Chargers.
I say the Chargers.
The Chargers too. I think the Chargers make a statement for them.
Right.
It might not, they're not going to win big or nothing. It's going to be a close game, but they make a statement for the Chargers. And the Chargers have struggled the last couple of years, and this is going to be kind of a statement game, I think. Monday Night Football, they might as well flex this one out. The Bengals at the Dallas Cowboys. Like, when is NFL? When is it that you can flex games? Please. I mean, you can put the Bahakel Sports game of the weekend.
Now.
You can put the Bahakel Sports game of the weekend for this game.
I mean, there's some games you could definitely flex, yes. You would have thought the Bengals would have made their switch, that they would have flipped the switch.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't.
They're done.
And I don't think it's the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I think it's the defensive side of the ball.
They can't stop anybody.
Can Cooper Rush go in and lead them, to a win against the Bengals?
Where's Trey Lance?
Don't even get me started.
Where's he at?
Why would you not I don't even that doesn't even
it's
make any
weird
sense.
to trade for guys and don't use them like you could have kept Deontay Johnson to continue to build his legacy in Carolina if you were
right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. Listen. I think the Cowboys get the win.
Okay.
I think the Cowboys get the win. I don't know what's going on with
Cincy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't either. And I think they're in trouble after this offseason because can't keep but so many guys.
I agree. So who's going to go?
And it might be both of them the way they're signing them.
I know a couple places they can go play.
Me too.
You put Jamar Chase with Derrick Henry,
Lamar. Hey. I've been waiting for a number one guy for a while now.
That would be scary. But I think I think the Cowboys can win. Yeah. I think the Bengals are in trouble.
I think the Bengals win this game. I think the Bengals are too talented to lose this game.
I thought the Redskins were too talented to lose to
right.
Dallas in Washington.
Yeah.
But they did.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'll go Cowboys.
Okay. And the Cowboys got nothing to play for, so
right.
Might as well play for.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. I'm gonna go Bengals, but definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you were picking along. I'm gonna be looking for y'all's picks. I'm gonna be scouring around looking for y'all's picks in the comments. So be sure to leave y'all's picks below.
We were all over the place.
We were, but hey, it's all in good fun.
All in good fun.
All in good fun, good discussion, and we definitely love the good discussion around here. But definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember that this podcast, the Keep Prowling podcast, is on all major podcasting platforms, along with the Game On podcast, along with the Bahakel Sports Game of the Week, not on all major podcasting platforms, but on BahakelSports.com. So be sure to check out all the content we got. And, of course, this guy, Jack Taylor, those guys are everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Keeping us updated on
High
all
school
things.
Basketball.
All things sports around here.
The Blitz Friday night, 10:30.
A lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. But, Jeff, appreciate you for coming
Thank you, man.
Definitely hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Keep Prowling podcast.
Enjoy your football.
Oh, yeah.